Examples, simple examples. 6 divides 18. 7 is not dividing 15 because no integer we get k to express 15 equal to 7 into k. Other examples are there. Notes already sent to you. I hope all of you are writing notes. As soon as I complete my class, I'm sending notes in the WhatsApp group. I hope all of you are writing. So we'll pass on to next screen where we see properties of divisibility. Look at these properties. If ABC are any three integers, then we can state these properties. So all these properties hold good. If A is not equal to 0, assume everywhere divisor A is not equal to 0. Wherever divisor is given, say C. Here C given, it is non-zero integer. Read and understand each and every definition. This is not at all difficult. This concept, this topic is not at all difficult if you understood the definitions. Understand the definition clearly. We apply definitions to derive any result on that. So if A is not equal to 0, A divides 0 always. So 0 is divisible by every integer. Then 1 divides every integer. A is a divisor of itself. When A divides A also divides minus part of that. If A divides B, then A divides minus B. Minus A divides B, minus A divides minus B. 1 divides A. This is simple. When one integer divides another integer, we write a vertical line. Okay. So right hand side is called dividend, left hand side is called divisor. This is for any integer. When 1 divides A, minus 1 is also a divisor of A. If A divides B, A divides Bx, any multiple of B. Divisors of 1 are plus or minus 1. Here is transitive property. So this property I am using in a theorem. Okay. If B not equal to 0, then modulus of A less than or equal to modulus of B. And this part, this last property, if A divides B, A divides C, then A divides this expression where x and y are integers. Then we defined common divisors. Common divisors. Divisors which are common. Okay. 24 divisors are listed. 15 divisors are listed. Then we have list of common divisors. So among those, common divisors are 1 and 3. And which is the greatest among them? That is 3. So we used an example to define greatest common divisor of two integers. What are they? Greatest common divisors of integers A and B. One of them should not be 0. Both should not be 0. One of them may be 0, but both should not be 0. A and B are, if A and B are, so this is formal definition. GCD of A and B is a positive integer D. So this is the first condition for greatest common divisor. Greatest common divisor is always positive, and which is dividing both. And if C is any other common divisor, it is less than that. D is the largest of all common divisors. Now I will put a question to you. In chat box, you have to answer. Everyone should answer. Right now, 27 are there. Very good number. Okay. I will ask you. I will take A minus 3, B 0. Okay. So I'm taking A non-zero, minus 3, B 0. Tell me the greatest common divisor. Small numbers. minus 3 and 0. What is greatest common divisor of minus 3 and 0? All of you answer. I want answer from each and everyone. Okay, okay. Answers started to come. New answered. See, right or wrong, you answer. Okay. Greatest common divisor of minus 3. I am repeating, greatest common divisor of minus 3 and 0. Follow the definition and start to answer. Greatest common divisor of minus 3 and 0. Greatest common divisor of any two integer is a positive integer which is dividing both and which is greatest of all common divisors. So greatest common divisor is positive always. Keep this in mind. It is positive, cannot be negative. Minus 3 and 0. What are divisors of 0? All integers divides 0. In that list you saw that list of properties. All integers divide 0. But what are divisors? Only positive divisors of minus 3. They are 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are the divisors of minus 3. Positive divisors 1 and 3. Divisors of 0 are integers. Now common divisors are 1 and 3. Common divisors are 1 and 3. So what is among 1 and 3 which is greatest? Among 1 and 3 which is greatest? That is greatest common divisor. Okay. So many are answered this question. I am very happy. Now let me see these things already discussed in the last class. So this is an important theorem. I can assure you this will definitely you can expect in the coming exam. Okay. Show that GCD of integers a and b can be written in the form of ax plus by, or there exist integers, there always exist integer x and y such that GCD of a comma b can be written in the form ax plus by. There exist integers x and y to express. Now I asked what is GCD of minus 3 and 0. You said answer. Now tell me that answer can be written in which form? Ax plus by form. It is said here. So there exist x and y. So what are they? X and y in case of GCD of minus 3 and in case of GCD of minus 3 and 0, how will you express? So what is GCD of minus 3 comma 0? How will you write in this form? So minus 3 into which integer plus 0 into which integer? So what are x and y? What is GCD of minus 3 and 0? What is GCD of minus 3 and 0? Many are answered that. So that is 3, right? So how will you write 3 equal to here? 3 equal to minus 3 times which integer you can write? Minus 3 times which integer you can write? Plus 0 into which integer? 0 into which integer? So minus 3 into what? Minus 3 into minus 1. 0 into any integer you can write. Okay. So 3 can be written minus 3 into minus 1. So there exists minus 1 and we can say any other integer. So GCD of any two integers can be written in this form always. So we have to prove it. Look at the proof. Proof is given here. First consider this set S. What are elements in S? They are in the form of A U plus B V, where A and B are given integers. U and V are integers, such that that integer is greater than 0. I already said what is well ordering principle. Well ordering principle says every non-empty set of non-negative integers or every set of positive integer contains a least element. So now I take this set and I prove it is non-empty. I will prove it is non-empty. Why non-empty? Because that proof is given here, which is in green letters. Okay, this proof is proof of showing this is non-empty. A and B are given integers, right? So if A not 0, not both 0, so one of them is not 0. I assume A not 0. When A not 0, modulus of A is not 0. You know what is modulus of A? What is modulus of A? It is positive integer always. A may be negative or positive. Modulus of A is always positive. So if when modulus of an integer is 0, only when that integer is 0. So modulus of 0 is 0. But here A is not 0. So modulus of A is not 0. So if A positive, you know modulus of A is A. So what is modulus of 5? Modulus of 5 is 5. So modulus of A is A, and A can be written in the form A into 1 plus B into 0. So U equal to 1 here, B equal to 0. So when A greater than 0, modulus of A in the form of AU plus BV. If A negative, modulus of A is minus A. See what is modulus of minus 5? Modulus of minus 5 is minus of minus 5. So we can write minus A into minus 1 plus B. Okay. So we can write modulus of A in the form of AU plus BV. So therefore, whenever A not equal to 0, this is non-empty because modulus of A belongs to S. If B not equal to 0 but A 0, B not 0 but A 0, that time which element always belongs to S? So that is modulus of B. So either A not equal to 0 or B not equal to 0. One element always will be here in this set. So therefore, this is non-empty. So this is non-empty collection of positive integers. These are integers. So all integers greater than 0 integers. So therefore, we can apply well ordering principle here. What is well ordering principle says? Every non-empty set contains a least element. So this S must also have a least element. That least element is named as D. So D is an element of S. D is an element of S. But what is any element? Every element of S represent in this form. So I am using a representation for D in the same form where I use X and Y. This is general form. D is specific element. So I'm for specific element, I use X and Y. I use X and Y. Now go through next slide. Okay, go through next slide. All of you read this next slide and try to understand. Have you read this? See here, D is expressed in the form AX plus BY. We shall now prove that D is the greatest common divisor of A and B. Greatest common divisor of A and B. We want to show that greatest common divisor can be written in this form. So already we got an integer of same form. So D is in the form AX plus BY. Now it is sufficient to prove that D is greatest common divisor of A and B. You already know what is the greatest common divisor. So first of all, you have to prove that D is a common divisor of A and B. So now I apply division algorithm for A and D. Division algorithm says that A equal to DQ plus R, where R is less than the divisor and greater than or equal to 0. If I able to prove this part in this equation, this part, if it is 0, if it is not there, that says D divides A. D divides A. I want to show here possible value for R is either greater than 0 or equal to 0. I have to show that it cannot be greater than 0. It cannot be greater than 0. So if, see here, I am proving that I write R equal to A minus DQ. I write R equal to A minus DQ. For D, I substitute AX plus BY. Then I get two terms minus QAX minus QBY. Minus QAX and A contains common factor. I'll take outside. So this is written like this. Now I take case if R not 0. If R not 0 here, R may be 0 or greater than 0. If R not 0, then R must be positive. R positive but less than D, remember. R positive but less than D. If R positive, if this expression positive, this is already in the form AU plus BV. If R positive and it is in the form AU plus BV, R positive and it is in the form AU plus BV means it should be an element of S according to definition of S. So R must belongs to S. Can R belongs to S? Problem is we have already taken D's lowest element, least element in S. So if R is less than D and if R belongs to S, it is impossible because already we assumed that D is the least element. So therefore R not equal to 0 case is not possible. So R must be 0. When R 0, we get A equal to DQ. So D divides A. Similarly, I have to show that D divides B. What to do? I have proved that A divides D divides A. I have to show that D also divides B. What to do? I applied a division algorithm in order to prove D divides A for A and D. Now what to do to prove D divides B? Which logic I have to follow? By logic only we are proving these results. Anybody would like to answer, you can answer. Those who followed explanation for showing D divides A, how do I show D also divides B? What logic? Same logic? By same logic, instead of taking A and D, take B and D. Use same logic, you will get D divides B. So D is common divisor of A and B. Now we have to show that D is greatest common divisor. D is larger than all common divisors. If C, take one arbitrary positive common divisor of A and B. If C is any other common divisor of positive common divisor of A and B, then you know C divides A, C divides B, meaning of common divisor. So now property number, we have already listed property here. See, when A divides B, A divides C, A divides Bx plus C. I am using this now. And also I am using this property when A divides B and B not equal to 0, modulus of A less than or equal to modulus of B. I am using that property here now. See, when C divides A, C divides B, C divides multiple of A plus multiple of B, where X and Y are integers. So AX plus BY nothing but D. So C is a divisor of D. Now, when C is a divisor of D and D is non-zero, modulus of C less than or equal to modulus of D, since D not zero. But what is modulus of C? It is C, because C is positive common divisor. What is modulus of D? It is also D, positive. D is positive. So therefore C less than or equal to D. Thus D is the greatest common divisor. This is the proof, and this is very important question. This is very important question. So this much we discussed in the last class also. So let me pass on to next slide, where some of the points we have noted. See, GCD of A and B is also equal to GCD of B and A. This is simple. And GCD, if A is non-zero, second integer B is 0, then GCD of A and 0 is modulus of A. We have already seen minus 3, 0. GCD of minus 3, 0 is 3. And what is GCD of any integer A and 1? Only divisor, positive divisor of 1 is 1. That is the only common divisor. So which is also greatest. So GCD of A and 1 is always 1. And what is GCD of A and A? That is modulus of A. If A is a divisor of B, what is greatest common divisor of A and B? That is A. For example, see, 2 divides 4. What is greatest common divisor of 2 and 4? Write the answer in chat box. 2 divides 4, right? So what is GCD of 2 and 4? What is GCD of 2 and 4? When one integer is divisor of the other one. GCD of 2 and 4, yes. It is 2. 3 divides 9. So GCD is 3. And look at last one. This is important. GCD of A and B, GCD of A and minus B, GCD of minus A and B, and GCD of minus A and minus B. All are same. GCD of A and B, GCD of A and minus B, GCD of minus A and B, GCD of minus A and minus B, all are same. Okay. I'll move on. See here one corollary based on previous theorem. We can conclude this. Okay, I will leave this statement. You read and understand. Okay. So now I will come to this definition. What are relatively prime integers? Two integers are said to be relatively prime or co-prime. Two names means the same. Relatively prime or co-prime. If their GCD is 1, if their GCD is 1, 3 and 7 GCD 1, can you name one more pair, everyone? GCD of which pair of two integers is 1? All of you answer this question. GCD of which two pairs are equal to 1? Give me some examples of more relatively prime integers. Okay. Niyukt said 5 and 11. That is correct. GCD of 5 and 11 also 1. Ramashi 2, 5. Correct. Swati 5, 11. Kirtan 2, 7. Ramashi answered again 13, 7. Then Swati M 2, 3. Asna 2, 3. They are correct answers. All are correct. Kirtan 2, 7. Niyukt one more answer 5, 11. Try everybody. Srinidhi 11, 13. Venus 6, 7, 3, 7. Correct. Such integers are called co-prime or relatively prime if their GCD 1, greatest common divisor is 1, 6, 7, 5, 7. All are correct. Aisha Kanu is 5, 7. Correct. Okay. Now, one theorem based on this. Two integers are relatively prime if and only if there exist integers x and y such that 1 equal to ax plus by. So if they are relatively prime, their GCD is 1. So GCD can be written in the form of ax plus by. That is already proved. So here d equal to 1. So d can be written as ax plus by. So here there are two parts in the theorem. If they are relatively prime, then there exist integer x and y such that 1 can be written ax plus by. Then converse is also true. That is, if ax plus by equal to 1, then a and b are relatively prime. If there exist integers x and y such that if ax plus by equal to 1, then a and b are relatively prime. Okay. So this theorem proof is not included in the syllabus. So you need not see the proof. Even this corollary, just go through this, what it says. So this relatively prime definition, and then this corollary, that is important for 2 marks question. What it says, if GCD of A and B equal to D, then GCD of A by D and B by D equal to 1. My question is, are these two expressions are integers or not? A by D, if D is GCD of A and B, A by D and B by D are integers or not? Are they integers? If 2 and 4, if we take, for example, 2, 4, or instead of 2 and 4, 4 and, or which example I can take? Six and 9. You take 6 and 9. What is greatest common divisor of 6 and 9? What is greatest common divisor of 6 and 9? That is 3, right? So you take A equal to 6, B equal to 9. Then you will get D equal to 3. Greatest common divisor of 6 and 9, 3. Now I am asking 6 by 3, that is A by D. A by D. What is A by D? D is divisor of A. So definitely A by D is an integer, right? Which integer is that? A by D. It is 2. What is B by D? 9 by 3. It is 3. So even though it looks like fraction, it is not, they are not fractions, they are integers. Okay. So if GCD of A comma B is D, then GCD of A by D and B by D 1. This is very, very important result. We will use it later after covering some portion, I'm going to use same result. So don't forget this result. If GCD of A and B equal to D, then GCD of A by D and B by D is 1 always. So they are relatively primes. Proof is explained here. See, D is GCD of A and B. So D can be written in the form AX plus BY. We proved in a theorem. So X and Y are integers. So divide this equation by D and write it like this: A by dx plus B by dy equal to 1. What is said here? If there exist integer x and y such that ax plus by equal to 1, then what are A and B? They are relatively prime. That is said in this theorem. So A by d x plus B by dy equal to 1, then GCD of A by d and B by d equal to 1. Directly you can write. This implies, this equation implies this. You need not write this. So this I can erase. This implies this from this theorem. This is this. There are many small results. Okay. So in my next slide, I have one more small result. Proof of this result, try to follow. What it says: if A divides C and B divides C, and the GCD of A and B equal to 1, then prove that product AB divides C. These are important results which we will use later in some theorems, proof of some theorems. A divides C. Definition of divisibility says what? There exists an integer K1, C equal to A into K1. Also given that, see, this is given part, this is given part, and this part you have to prove. That means you have to show that C can be written as AB into some integer. When it is possible to get C equal to AB into some integer, we can say AB divides C. So let me take this given part up to here, given part. So this is given part up to here, given part. So this part we have to prove. This part we have to prove. So use the given part. Three things are given to us. A divides C. What it says? A divides C. Therefore, this integer can be written as A into this some integer. B also divides C. So C also can be written as B into some integer K2. So they are called equation 1 and equation 2. And we also given this GCD of A and B equal to 1. What do you mean by that? By theorem. If GCD of A comma B is D, then there exists integer x and y such that D can be written as AX plus BY. Here D equal to 1. So there exists integer x and y such that AX plus BY equal to 1. Multiply this equation by C. We have to get this result now. So multiply this by C. What happens? Right hand side C. Left hand side we have to multiply by C. The C multiplied to left hand side. To both you have to multiply. First term C multiplied here. C is here. Now what is C? From 1 here, for this C, you substitute from second equation B into K2. For this C, you substitute from first equation A into K1. Then you will get what? AB common factor. Take it outside. Now what is this bracket? What is this bracket? This bracket is an integer or not? Answer me this. This bracket expression is integer or not? Look back and see what is K1. What is K1? K1 belongs to Z, means K1 is an integer. What is K2? Look back here. K2 belongs to Z. It is an integer. K1 integer, K2 integer. What are X and Y? What are X and Y? There exist X and Y belongs to Z. So they are integers. When you multiply two integer, what do you get? You will get integer. When these two are multiplied, you will get integer. When they are added, you will get integer. This expression is an integer. Here it is very important saying that. So this is very important. Which is important? Here this is very important that I forgotten to write. This is an integer. Okay. This is an integer. So now we have written, we got C equal to B in AB into some integer. So I can rightly said B divides AB divides C. How many of you have followed this explanation? Less than 1 minute left. Those who are not submitted attendance, submit, and others, you just in chat box answer me whether this proof you followed or not. Yes or no. Okay. With that, I will wind up today's class. There are many more such same type of